What's going on, guys? So today is Sunday the 22nd? 22nd? Scratch my face. Yeah, so I've already gotten the day started. As you know, Sundays is my off day, so as I'm getting closer and closer to preparing for surgery, I have been doing a deeper dive into cleaning my house. Each week doing some deeper cleaning than I did the week before, just so that when I come home from surgery, I am not putting myself at risk of getting any sort of infections or anything. So I know it's just a jaw surgery, but you know, when you're coming from under surgery, you are more vulnerable to infections and stuff, so like that. So just making sure that I am not putting myself at risk. Oh my goodness. Guess it's almost time for a nap. That's what my body is telling me. Anyway, it is currently almost 2 o'clock. It's 1:48. I am about to walk to the store and get a few things to cook because I have been wanting to cook myself some real food for the last few days. In the process, I am going to try to film some short content. Thinking about some beef and broccoli, this cabbage stir fry that I like to cook, as well as some bourbon chicken. And I've been craving some sweet stuff, so I think I'm gonna do a 7-Up cake and maybe some cinnamon rolls. And I might not get it all cooked today. May do it between today and tomorrow, depending on how the rest of the night go. Because, like I said, it's already almost 2 o'clock. I know the cinnamon rolls are gonna take a while because they gotta proof. So, without further ado, let me go ahead and get my butt out of this house because the walk itself is gonna take about there back. It's gonna take about 30 minutes. So, let me go. Alright, between shopping and walking, it took me a little over half hour, just almost 45 minutes to do all of that. And just on the walk back, I am drenched. It's 92 degrees out there, and whew, I'm about to sit down and cool off a little bit before I get started. It is Tuesday morning. The clips you just saw was all the work that I put in yesterday. Doing the work that I said I was going to do on Sunday. Thankfully today they or all this week they've been stressed down for Spirit Week, or some sort of a Spirit Week. It's more so Swag Week is what they call it. Because this week, I think they're doing it more so because this week is supposed to be a scorcher. So instead of us having us dress more professional, they're letting us wear work swag. Today, they said the temperature is supposed to be in the triple digits. So it's nice to kind of dress a little bit cooler. The only thing is, I wish we could wear shorts because these jeans are warm. When I woke up, it was 79. And like I said, it's supposed to be triple digits. They didn't say how high it's supposed to get, but of course, they feel like it's going to be much hotter than what the actual temperature is. So I'm on a bus stop right now, waiting for my bus. I just got off the train. Couldn't find my hat, but even with the hat, it's often much hotter under the hat. So I did remember to grab my towel today, but we'll see how I feel when I get to work. Alright people, so it is just after 7 o'clock. I made it home quite a bit early today because they dropped BTO and I took advantage of it. One of my neighbors down there fixing their car. If you saw my page today, I dropped a couple shorts. Apparently somebody popped up on my page over the weekend. A postal worker passed. I don't know exactly what city, but a postal worker passed this weekend from
heat exhaustion. And the original video, the young lady was going off in regards to how postal workers are being treated. So I dropped my first short I dropped, just let her know that that is not new. I worked for the post office 10 years ago. You know, the expectation is that you, regardless of what the weather is, you get out there and you do your route. I remember 10 years ago, it was what the temperatures are now is what it was back then, and I personally was out there experiencing heat exhaustion with very little water. I remember when I was first put out on my route, I would take water, and before I even made it halfway through my route, my water would be too warm to drink. So I started freezing. I would get gallons of water. I would freeze half of it, and I would freeze half of it and then fill the other half each morning. I would get 2 of them. That way, both of them, the first one I would drink through half my route, and then by the time that I got down to the ice on that one, I would have the second one to drink. And you know, that would help, but oftentimes by the time I got to the end of my route, that would be too warm to drink. And whatever your route was rated, you were expected to have your route done in that amount of time. So if your route was rated to be done in 6 hours, they wanted it done in 6 hours. If it was rated to be done in 8 hours, they wanted it to be done in 8 hours. And oftentimes, especially in the city, they had more work for you to do when you got back to the station, and you was expected to have that work done. If you was a CCA, you had no exact time you was getting off. If they only had 4 hours of work for you that day, you was done in 4 hours. If there was on time, I say that back. They expected everybody to be off the clock by, at least in the city, they expected everybody to be off the clock by 1900, which is 7 p.m. 1900, they was pretty much kicking everybody off the clock, whether the work was done or not, because they got in trouble. But if the work was not done by 1900, they was basically trying to have people work off the clock after 1900, which was illegal, but they had to explain why the work wasn't done. But if your splits was not done within the amount of time, which was usually 15 minutes per split, they was coming out there to see what you was doing. And the scanners that scan the first class, certified mail, and those the barcodes that's on the boxes, which after COVID they don't even scan those anymore. Those are actually GPS trackers. So the supervisor can sit in the office and use it, track you with that to see exactly what you was doing. So you really couldn't deviate from your route without them knowing. So there was times when I was the first post office I worked for, I was out in the suburbs. There would be times I would be out on my route, and the supervisors would pop up on me, and I'd be like, where the hell did y'all come from? Because I wouldn't even realize it. And the one, almost each time that they popped up, I would be like, damn, I literally just got back to the truck. And they'd be like, oh, we know, we just wanted to make sure you was okay. I'm like, I'm okay, I'm literally just trying to catch my breath. Or I'd be just parked at my next split. I'm like, I'm just trying to catch my breath before I go out on this split. They literally thought I was out there horse playing around, but they also didn't realize that my route was misrated. Misrated. So what they ended up doing, after I was only on that route, I started in the middle of July. I was only on that route for about 45 days. And then they took me off that route and put me on another route. And then they put this veteran on the route for about 2 or 3 days to have him work the route. And it took them putting him on the route and him not being back in within the 8 hours for them to realize the route wasn't properly rated. And then they redid the route because he had to tell them it's misrated. But they really thought I was out there joking around. I'm like, no, I'm not. And when the veteran went out there and was like, no, this route is actually like a 10-hour route. But so he's actually, when he's getting back at, because everybody else was getting back. So we started at 6:30 in the morning, and everybody else was getting back at 2:30, and I wasn't getting back until 5. And they was like tripping on why I was getting back so late. And when he didn't get back until 5, they was like, okay, something ain't right. So then they redid the route, and the new guy that they put on the route ended up getting back at like 3:34. They end up redoing it again. So yeah. But when the vets that would see me in the morning, they were like, every morning they were like, you look exhausted. I'm like, I am exhausted. It's like, and they told me, that's like, you look like you're losing a lot of weight since you've been here. I was like, I am. I was like, I'm literally walking almost 20 miles a day. They was like, no, you're not. I was like, I am. And I would show them on my phone how many steps I got in a day before. This was like right when phones first started counting steps. And so I showed them on my iPhone. I was like, I did 12 miles yesterday. They're like, no, you didn't. I was like, yeah, I did 12 miles. It's like, I did that route before they gave it to you, so I know you didn't do 12 miles. It's like, I'm literally showing you on my phone I did 12 miles yesterday. And so when I showed it to them, it's like, dang, you did that much? I was like, yeah. And so then when I forgot the black dude's name, but I was like literally on the one of 3 black dudes that was working out of that station. So when they put the other black dude on there, that literally every day he did a different route. He was a relief guy, so he when the regular on that route would on a particular route would be off, he would go in and be the relief for that day. They took him off his relief route to do my route. So when he did my route and he couldn't get it done within the 8 hours that it was rated for, that's when they finally believed that I wasn't out there horse playing around. Because the supervisors would have to stay at the station well and after the station would be closed to wait for me. I would literally be the last one back. And the other thing that would be holding me up is that they never had a van or a truck for me to go out on time. So I would get there at 7:30 in the morning or 6:30 in the morning to start my route, but I couldn't go out until like 10 o'clock. So they never considered that, counted that either. I would always have to wait for a rural carrier to come back with from their route to start my route. So the rural carriers, rural routes was always like 3 or 4 hours. So waiting for them would always put me like 4 hours behind anyway, and they never considered that. So it was a whole mess up thing. But anyway, I ended up transferring out of the suburbs into the city, and yeah, so, but yeah, when you work for the United States Postal Service, it don't matter. But that summer, it, like I said, it was like working in a furnace. There's no shade. You working in whatever the temperature is, you out there. I did have some nice co-workers. They gave me a bucket hat. One co-worker gave me a bucket hat. Another co-worker would give me their extra shirts because you don't have any uniform allowance, and they would see me come in every day in the same shirt, and I would try to wash my shirt every night because being a black guy in a white neighborhood, I refuse to walk up on anybody's porch without a postal shirt on because no, I was trying to do everything I could to try to reduce the opportunity for a white person to shoot me at any cost. And then when I came to the city, couple guys gave me rain gear because I didn't have any. I literally got drenched. I ruined a couple pair of gym shoes because I didn't have any galoshes, any rain boots. Very first time I worked in the rain, I literally got soaked head to toe. Ruined a pair of gym shoes that day because you get soaked, and once you get them shoes get wet, and they get wet at the start of the shift, you gotta work in them. Your feet get funky. You never get that odor out of them shoes. Same thing happened when I came to the city. I literally was standing on the corner, and in my rain gear, driver saw me standing on the corner, and he purposely splashed me. I turned my back to the splash just in time to keep from getting in front of me splashed. And if I hadn't had the raincoat on, I literally would have my entire back would have been splashed. And when I tell you he hit that puddle so hard, even with my back turned, that rain came over my head. People are dirty. So when you see mail carriers out there, please be nice to them as much as you can. I know a lot of them are assholes. They don't have to be, but you also don't have to be assholes to them. If you live on a driving route, don't make their job any harder than it has to be. You want your mail delivered, don't park in front of the mailbox because legally you're not supposed to park in front of the mailbox. So when they tell you that they are not delivering your mail to the box because you're parked in front of the mailbox, they are not delivering your mail for that reason, because they can get in trouble. The postal inspectors are out there on the route. You can't see them, but the driver can't see them either. But the postal inspector can see everything that they are doing. And if they get out of that vehicle to deliver your mail when they're not supposed to, they can get fired for that. So when they tell you don't park in front of that box if you want your mail, they're doing what they're supposed to do. You arguing with them is only making things worse. Yes, it's a matter of just throwing the LLV and park and jumping out, but it's also delaying them, because if they have to do that for every single house, they are falling behind, and then they get in trouble for not getting that route done on time. You think it's just your house, but if everybody thinks it's just their house, like I said, these supervisors are expecting them to have that split done within a certain amount of time. So let's take my apartment complex for example. It's 14 buildings in this apartment complex. They have it rated that it takes them probably 5 minutes to do each building. So they expecting this apartment complex be done in less than 45 minutes, and then they go on to the next apartment complex. But if somebody is impeding the postal worker from getting the mail done at each apartment at each apartment building, and delaying them by 5 minutes, then that's adding on to their time. So 5 times 14 is delaying them by, I'm not doing that quick math, so that's adding another whatever. So now that delayed them, and now instead of taking them 45 minutes to get this apartment complex done, it'll take them about an hour and a half to get this apartment complex done. And now they're late getting to the next apartment complex. So when the supervisor is expecting them, looking at the scanner, looking at them on the map, wondering why they're not at the next apartment complex, you know, they have their answer to that. So when they get back to the station late, what all they can say is, well, I was impeded at this apartment complex. That's not acceptable. The supervisor don't care about that. The supervisor got to answer for that overtime. And, you know, so, you know, I had one of the reasons that I ended up leaving is because I had a station manager come to me and tell me that because I had been with the post office for 6 months at that point, that it was unacceptable that I was coming back from my routes late every day, even though I was literally on a different route every single day, often at a different station every single day. You've been with the post office way too long to be coming back late every day. You costing us too much money is what she told me. Even though the station manager that came in behind her, he told me, I understand why you coming back late. You're at a different station almost every day, or a different route every day. You have to get used to the new case. You have to get used to the new route. Not every route is laid out the same way. Not every case is laid out the same way. So, you know, just be bottom line, just be nice to your postal workers, especially in this heat. If you see them out, if you can, give them some water. You know, most people have bottled water in their house. If you think about it, at night, throw a couple extra bottles in the refrigerator. When you hear them at your mailbox, ask them if they want one. Not all of them will want to take one. And by all means, please give them water, not seltzer water. Water, not seltzer water. When I was out there, somebody gave me seltzer water. It was the gesture was there. It was nice. I appreciated it, but seltzer water, no. 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 And I doubt it was the only thing they had, but it was, like I said, the gesture was nice. And I took it, and I didn't want to drink it, but you know, on a hot day, it's the coldest thing I had in the truck at the time. I drank it, and I literally had people chase me down to give me glasses of water. Again, the gesture was nice, but please if you're gonna offer your carrier something, please give them something that is tamper-proof. I don't know what you put in. I don't know how you clean your glasses. I don't know what you put in your glasses. I don't know if you dropped if you slipped a Mickey in your glass. So by all means, please give them something that is, you know, if you was out there, you don't necessarily want a open glass. So, you know, just think about it. And this was pre-COVID, so I get it. People wasn't as cautious then as they are now. So in this post-COVID era, please give them something that is tamper-proof. Is, you know, again, back then I was thirsty. I took it. I also didn't want to seem disrespectful back then. But in this post-COVID era, you run up on me with a glass of water. I'm like, you know what? I appreciate the gesture, but just to err on the side of caution, I'm not gonna take a glass of water. Next time, if you have a bottle of water, I will take that. You know, just out of precaution. Gatorade is another suggestion. If you are in the neighborhood and you see them walking down the street, especially in the business district, and you just happen to be at the gas station, and you have a few extra dollars, run to the gas station, grab them something, and take it to them. I wouldn't necessarily leave it at their truck just out of precaution. And I also wouldn't mess with their truck because like I said, the postal inspectors are out there on the routes. They do see everything. I wouldn't mess with a postal vehicle I wouldn't even walk up to a postal vehicle without the postal worker being near the postal vehicle. Um, um, you see all the time the FedEx and the UPS and the Amazon workers out on their routes, and they are appreciative of the snacks and stuff that you leave by the door. Your USPS workers are just as appreciative of that. So if you haven't offered that to your USPS workers, trust me, they are just as appreciative. So offer the if you haven't made that available to your postal workers, that's another suggestion. In the wintertime, you can leave hand warmers by the mailbox for your USPS workers, because especially if you live on a walking route, because they are out there in the elements. They are carrying their mail. They don't have, most of their vehicles don't have heat, especially if they're in those older LLVs. They don't have, those vehicles specifically do not have heat or air conditioning. And even the newer vehicles, a lot of times they're not in the vehicles long enough for the heat to kick in. When I came to the city, the vans had heat and air conditioning, but like I said, we wasn't in the vehicle long enough for the heat to kick in, because when you are doing the splits, you literally are just driving one block over, and you, like I said, driving a block, that's not long enough for anything. And again, if you live in an apartment building, you want to do something more, since you when you live in apartment buildings or apartment complexes, you can't always catch your local mail person. You can always drop off those hand warmers or a case of water at your local post office. If you walk in and say, "Hey, I would like to leave this for the mail people, the mail carriers," they usually, the counter person will take it and give it to them, or you can say, "Hey, can I speak to the supervisor?" and the supervisor will take it and give it to the carriers. Those are just my suggestions, and this is coming from a former city carrier assistant. If you would like to talk to your local postal carrier, you can try to catch them, or you can go up and talk to the city carrier. You can try going up to your local post office and ask to speak to the supervisor or the station manager, or the postmaster. They can give you better suggestions, or you can even call your local post office and ask to speak to the postmaster or the station manager or the supervisor. And the reason I say that is because if you are in a small area, then you have a postmaster. If you are in a city like Charlotte or Milwaukee, then you will have a station manager, and the station manager is not always available, so they will have supervisors that are available. I know the stations that I worked out of usually had like 3 supervisors, an opener, a closer, and a mid-shift supervisor. And any of those 4 people will usually be able to offer suggestions on how you can best help your carriers. But that's my rant on those two videos that two of the shorts that I dropped today. So the other short that I dropped was in relation to the banana wine. Someone asked about my banana wine. So the banana and the orange wine I will be filtering this weekend, and then I will also taste them because I am going to stabilize them. When I filter them, I stabilize them and add a sweetener to them. And that's the whole point of me stabilizing them, so that when I add the sweetener, they don't keep fermenting and eat the sweetener up. And yeah, so look forward to that. That will probably happen on Sunday, so that will be the start of next week's ball. But I have been rambling about being a CTA and how you can help your local postal carrier. So happy Tuesday. Let me get this crybaby in the house, and I will catch up with you guys later. What's going on, guys? It is Wednesday. It is about 7:20. Yep, it's about 7:20. It looks like I got home just in time to beat the storm. Let me see if I can show y'all what it looked like up in the sky. Camera don't do it justice. Hey, shut up. Shut up. Camera don't do it justice right now. It's real gray right now. It is real gray out here right now. I'm trying to let Milo use the bathroom before. Hey, shut up. Before the storm comes. Because this was lightning all the way home. And I was just grateful that I got home before lightning struck near me. Hey, use the bathroom, Papa. So I'm about to go in the house and do a little more decluttering. Got my post-op instructions today, or pre-op instructions, I should say. My pre-op instructions. So I know my surgery is going to be at 11 o'clock on August 6th. Still don't know what time I'm supposed to be at the hospital. So I'm just assuming that I'm supposed to be there somewhere around between 5 and 7 in the morning to check into the hospital. I'll find out more at my pre-op appointment on July 16th. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. That boy is not bothering you. But for the most part, I'm trying to rest because I felt like a Mack truck hit me this morning, and I don't want to feel like that in the morning. So let me get this dog in the house before it rains. Looks like the sky cracked right after I came inside. Can't really tell from the camera. Now you can. There you go. It's not raining as hard as they said it was going to rain, but it is cooling off pretty nicely though. Ooh, I look tired. I need to do my skin. This bag's under my eyes. Oh my God. The camera will tell on you. I need to shave. I don't know if y'all saw that lightning. Damn, I look bad. Put my eye patches on right now. Definitely haven't been sleeping well the last couple nights. I haven't done worn my eye patches in a couple months. Come on, Milo, let's go in the house. All right, so it's Saturday morning. Meant to check in with you guys a couple of days ago to just kind of get you guys caught up to date on how the week has been going. So on Tuesday, apparently the post office down in Dallas did update the postal workers in that area. So the postal worker that died last Saturday was a Dallas postal worker. I believe his name was Jacob Taylor. I'm gonna insert the post that I saw on TikTok, or the screenshot from the post. They asked post workers in that area to observe a moment of silence around 2 o'clock that day, on Tuesday. I believe that is either the time that the incident happened on Saturday or around the time that he passed. So that's the update on the postal worker that passed. And then Thursday night, I had dinner with my sister, and I meant to pull out the camera just to capture us out having fun, because that's something we don't really get to do anymore, or haven't been able to do lately, I should say. But my phone died. I didn't put it on the charger while I was at work, and then realized that it was almost dead until I left work. By the time we got to the restaurant, it was like 10%. But the conversation that we had at dinner kind of was jaw-jarring, and let me know that how things shake out in the next year is going to be pivotal. I can't never say that word right. It's going to be kind of eye-opening as to what's going to happen with those of us that's here in the Charlotte area next year. We've already been having some conversations about what our next move is going to be, and we've been open and honest with each other about if we're going to stay and if we're going to leave. And a lot of it has been surrounding economics and finances, and I've said that once I get my bachelor's degree next year, that I'm open to applying for jobs elsewhere, and that's pretty much where we both are. She made some statements that I'm not going to share here. I'm going to let her share her own statements that has me thinking, but it's going to be interesting to see where we are in 12 months from now. Will we be packing up to move to other areas, or will we be packing up to move to different parts of the metro Charlotte area? So that's pretty much where we are. So if you have better job leads in the Charlotte area that's paying highly skilled customer service professionals more than $27 an hour, with education, because I have my associate's degree, finishing up my bachelor's degree, and she is finishing up her bachelor's degree as well. Please send them our way. We'll be glad to be interviewing over the next year. That's going to be key in deciding where we land. After my surgery in August, I will start applying elsewhere. Not just in the Charlotte area, but pretty much all over the southern half of the country. It's pretty much where the conversation led. So, but this has been an interesting week. A lot of storms in the area. I think we're supposed to get some more storms today. I started a new video series on the wine last night, which is why I didn't get to update y'all last night, because I was supposed to do this last night. Last night I filtered the banana and the orange wines. I thought they were clear enough to bottle, but once I filtered them, some of the sediment, and I guess that's to be expected when you filter and stuff, some of the sediment did get through. So they're going to go through a second round of sitting, and then we'll do a second filtering in about 4 to 6 weeks, and see if they're ready to be filtered at that time. Based on what I'm learning from TikTok University as well as YouTube University, sometimes they will go through a third round of sitting, but we'll see how they look after the second filtering before we determine that, before we let them age. I did taste them. They both taste really good. The alcohol content right now is about 18% for the orange wine, 24% for the banana wine. So I'm gonna look into how I can cut the alcohol percentage for the banana wine. I think it might be just a matter of adding more water, because there is room in the glass for that. So I'll study that a little bit more today, because tonight I'll add some sweetener and another stabilizer, and we'll go from there. But I'm almost at work, so I'm gonna catch my breath, and this is gonna be the end of this week's vlog, and I will see you guys in next week's video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And again, I'll see y'all next week. Hey, before I go, I know I talked to you guys a couple months ago about my newsletter. I want to remind you to go ahead and click the link down below to sign up so that you can subscribe to the newsletter. It will be dropping in a few weeks here, so I want to make sure that you guys are signed up so you can be the first to get the first newsletter that will be coming out. The goal is to have it out come July 1st, starting with affirmations on July 1st and followed up with the actual monthly newsletter sometime in July. So definitely go ahead and click that link down below so you can be a part of the first rollout. Thanks in advance for being a subscriber.